What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with some Destiny 2 news. And in this one we do have a couple of updates from Bungie to talk about, but also a very small hint at an upcoming PvP map next season. And on top of that we're going to talk about a series of upcoming quests for Season of the Deep, some of which may net us the very secretive exotic fish in the season. Plus we'll cover some interesting story elements for this week. And we're going to talk as well about an upcoming exotic weapon for this season, which is set to be discovered through some hidden encounters. So obviously I will give a spoiler alert before that, we won't go into a ton of details, but we do have some hints from upcoming season challenges. And so plenty to talk about in the video today guys, and as always, if you enjoy it, a rating below really does help us out, and otherwise let's get into it. Initially, a very quick update from Bungie Help here, and they've said, we're aware of an issue preventing players from equipping the new Twitch bounty emblem, which is called Pulsar Approaching, and we are investigating. So there's a weird bug with that one where when players try to equip it, it says they don't own it, even though it's in their inventory. So at least Bungie knows about it, and hopefully they'll have a fix soon. Next though, a few other items of interest right here. And JP Deathblade posted to Twitter, not sure if this is news or not, but Season of the Deep added 2 new Crucible maps to the manifest. The first is Meltdown, and of course that's a reprised map, which Bungie did advertise. But the second is called Multiplex on the Vex Network compiler Mars. Just thought it was interesting pointing this out because Bungie did confirm that they will be introducing a new Vex Network PvP map, but it's actually slated for Season 22. I don't think this means that we're getting it early necessarily, but it at least gives us a name. Obviously Bungie are adding some of the data pretty early, and we should be seeing the Multiplex PvP map introduced to next season. To this season's content though, something I haven't covered specifically here on the channel, but it's worth a mention. And Destiny Bulletin also shared this, and helping someone to unlock the Navigator's exotic catalyst in the Ghost of the Deep dungeon also boosts your chances of getting the exotic weapon when you complete the dungeon. So on top of the dungeon-specific triumphs, if you help players to unlock the catalyst earlier on in the run, you will see the text pop up. Your chance to find the Navigator has increased. So if you're running that and you're still waiting for the exotic, especially if you have friends that need to get the catalyst done, it's certainly worth helping them out, as it will directly increase your chances of picking that weapon up. Next though, some other upcoming content for the season, and as we've discussed, there are 4 exotic fish, which are listed in the triumphs for the game, and the assumption has been that we would get one of the exotic fish at each of the fishing pond locations, then perhaps another one which comes from a different destination, but this week when fishing on the Throne World, players are still getting the same exotic fish as we saw previously in the EDZ. So this is where perhaps some of the upcoming quests for the season come in, and JP Deathblade pointed out that there is a milestone coming up later on in the season called the Fishing Rally, which could potentially be a source for this extra exotic fish. This is actually a series of quest steps, so there are separate quests for each destination, and looking at Fishing Rally EDZ, you can see we need to earn points to collect participation rewards by catching fish in the outskirts. So exotic fish will drop 20 points, legendary are 5 points, rare are 2 points, and uncommon fish are 1 point. And there's a step to earn bronze tier rewards, then silver, gold, and ultimately platinum rewards. So it looks like a sort of fishing event, I guess, for Season of the Deep. And these quests once again are available for each destination, so we pretty much get the same quest steps for Nessus, and finally for the Throne World. I don't know what other rewards may potentially come from that. Presumably they would be somewhat useful, otherwise players won't necessarily do it. But of course there is that potential that one of the exotic fish could come from this as well. Next though, here a quick mention before we talk about an upcoming exotic. And of course we got new steps for the season's story quest, which as always sent us into Salvage. And then we got a variation on the deep dive mission called Mayday Mayday. And that and the deep dive mission this week are pretty cool in themselves. But following that, we got a message from Ahsa via Sloan, and the giant Leviathan on Titan gave us a few cryptic words, so in case you've missed it, here is some of the dialogue from that part of the quest this week.
A city of light. A flourishing garden. A silent god withholds a deeper truth. Questions unanswered. Longing unfulfilled. The sky darkens as a new journey begins.
It's hard to make sense of Ahsa's thoughts, but they are coming into focus, taking interference be damned. Hearing those sounds puts me right back in the thick of it. Staying on the move, gun in hand, Zivu Arath's voice in my head. Escape and evade. No matter how bad things got, that routine kept me going. And Ahsa kept me safe. She shored up my resolve, helped me find food, watched over me when I caught a few hours of shut-eye. Now she's doing everything she can to tell us what she knows. We're both on a new mission. Unfortunately, Drifter needs to tinker with his machine before we bank more coral. Hurry up and wait, right? I've been around a long time, Guardian. Seen a lot of action, gone on a lot of sorties. Always ready for the next set of orders. It's staying still that gets to me.
The final thing we are going to speak about right here, though, and a spoiler alert is necessary, as we're going to talk about an upcoming exotic for the season. There have been leaks that have touched on this as well. We're not going to go into the leaks specifically. You may have seen them or maybe not, but with that spoiler alert in mind, we are going to get access to another scout rifle later on in the season. So this actually isn't especially well hidden, given that players can view all of the upcoming weekly challenges for the season. And looking at the week 10 challenges on Light GG, there's one called Wicked Depths, to complete the whetstone encounter in deep dives and earn the Wicked Implement Scout Rifle. And so instead of being a traditional exotic quest or even a quest mission, it looks like this is something that will unlock through deep dives in the course of the season. Obviously the weapon itself is hidden, but there are other hints to its existence, including when we look in collections, both under kinetic weapons and in the Scout Rifle section of the Ornaments tab, there is an unknown item, which is a classified item right there, so we can't view it. However, the Destiny 2 team on Twitter also alluded to deep dives unlocking more progress over time. So they said, as Season of the Deep unfolds, you'll be able to explore deeper and deeper into Titan's depths in deep dives, revealing greater challenges and rewards. So just like fishing, patience is key. So very interesting right there. And if you've played Deep Dive this week, no doubt you will have noticed that some of the encounters are actually different. And as we've seen, there are a series of different triggers for secrets, such as the Toland orbs that players can scan to invoke darkness that trigger pressure trials. And so obviously, some of these kinds of mechanics are ultimately going to feature in us getting access to the specific encounter where this exotic will drop. It looks like another exotic is going to be a thing, and instead of being a traditional quest or exotic mission, it'll actually come from further unlocking the deep dive activity. Again, it's listed as a week 10 challenge for the game. That doesn't necessarily mean we have to wait until week 10 until it drops though. Sometimes Bungie add the challenges a few weeks later on, which I guess is done partially to make them less obvious. And for the moment, that's all we really know about the weapon, although there have been leaks which do outline the supposed perks and capabilities of the weapon. Either way, it's a positive that yet another weapon will be unlocked later on in the season, and give us your thoughts about that down below. For today though guys, that's everything that we have to break down in the video. So as always, I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, a rating really does help us out, and feel free to get subscribed so I can keep you posted with more content. Let us know how you're finding Season of the Deep so far, especially now that we've got a week or so under our belts. But otherwise, I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.